The CEO was away on a business trip and instructed me, as his head secretary, to keep an eye on the office. Not long after he left, a woman showed up claiming to be his girlfriend. I poured her tea and water, but she threw it all over me in a high-pitched voice. That wasn't my honey's special baby cup. Get me another one. I asked if the air conditioning was too cold for her, but she stomped her foot. EW. Did you notice that honey punished me with spanking last night? I finally managed to serve her a plate of custard cakes made with milk powder, which she had specifically requested, but she threw up all over me and said with a blissful expression, "I'm pregnant because honey gave me baby shots. If anything happens to me, can you take responsibility?" I couldn't take it anymore and called the CEO. "Mr. Thompson, are you really that hungry? How could you date a girlfriend like that?" But the CEO sounded confused on the other end of the phone. "What girlfriend? I'm single. Sarah Johnson, I'm going on a business trip for the next couple of days, so please keep an eye on the office for me. Don't let those old-timers slacking off." I repeatedly agreed to the CEO's instructions. As soon as he hung up, I was about to stretch and relax when someone rushed in. "Sarah Johnson, there's a VIP named Ashley Reed downstairs. Please go and greet her." It took me a few seconds to remember if there was any VIP to receive on today's schedule. VIP? My colleague slapped his forehead. "I forgot to mention, it's the CEO's girlfriend." What the heck? I had heard rumors about the CEO's girlfriend. I heard that he was going through a late-in-life bloom of romance recently and secretly asked people what gifts were appropriate for girls, so there were rumors in the office that he had a girlfriend. But the CEO didn't say a word before he left. I quickly stood up, but my colleague hesitated. "Well, the CEO's girlfriend is a bit." He sighed. "Never mind, just go and pick her up. That headache has been making a scene downstairs for a while." I didn't think too much about it and quickly pressed the elevator button to go downstairs. My head was spinning the moment I saw the CEO's girlfriend. The woman in front of me, dressed in light pink, was sitting delicately on the floor of the main lobby, pouting her bright red lips and throwing a tantrum. "Why won't you let baby go up? You're just deliberately making things difficult for baby. Baby is not happy." The receptionist was trying to reason with her. "Miss, you can't go to the top floor without an appointment, please understand." Seeing more and more people gathering around to watch the scene, I quickly went up and tried to help her up from the ground. "Are you Miss Reed? I'm the CEO's head secretary. I'll take you to the CEO's office now." Ashley Reed stood up from the ground as soon as she heard this. I glanced at her winged eyeliner that was almost drawn to her cheekbones and barely managed to control my facial expression and said with a forced smile, "Please come with me." But the next second, she slapped my hand away and glared at me. "Baby's hands and body belong to honey. How dare you touch them?" I was speechless. The receptionist gave me a sympathetic look. I took a deep breath and smiled. "Okay, the elevator is this way. Please come with me." Only then did she reluctantly follow me upstairs. As I walked, I cursed the CEO in my mind without expression. It was fine if he liked to be a jerk usually, but his girlfriend was also like a fake person. As soon as Ashley Reed entered the CEO's office, her eyes lit up. She took out her phone and snapped countless photos in the office. As a result, she accidentally knocked down the vase that the CEO had bought back from the auction house at a high price some time ago. I swear I broke out the fastest speed of my life to catch the vase and put it back in its place tremblingly. Ashley Reed pouted and touched her head with her small fist. "Oops. Did I get dizzy again?" Then she actually tried to pick up the vase to smash it. "It's all your fault, bad vase. You just scared baby." I snatched it back. "Miss Reed, this vase is the CEO's treasure. Please, headache. It would be okay if you were his girlfriend and broke it, but my salary would be severely damaged." Seeing that I dared to snatch things from her, Ashley Reed's face darkened. "What do you mean? Are you targeting baby? She frowned and stared at the vase. Besides, it's just a vase. Can it be more important than baby in Honey's heart? Seeing that she was about to smash the vase again, I had a flash of inspiration and pulled her back. Wait! Wait! Ashley Reed glared at me, and I sincerely said, what if you get hurt by smashing the vase? The CEO will be heartbroken when he comes back. I shuddered all over when I said this, but Ashley Reed was very pleased. She suddenly realized, you're right to remind me, baby's skin is so delicate, how can it be hurt? Seeing that she was finally willing to let go of the expensive vase and sit on the sofa, I breathed a sigh of relief. But before her could warm the sofa, she stared at me and asked, are you someone who works with my honey? Seeing me nod, her eyes were full of judgment. Dressing so flashy at work to attract attention, are you trying to seduce my honey? I felt so wronged. If I wasn't the CEO's secretary representing the face of the company, I would definitely dress more horribly than anyone else at work. I'm already at work. There's no room for men in my mind. I'm more resentful than a ghost every day. And I'm wearing a proper black business suit, with dress pants on the bottom, covering everything tightly. How could she see that I was dressing so flashy at work to attract attention? I gritted my teeth and endured the anger in my heart and smiled. How could that be? The CEO will always just be the CEO in my heart. Ashley Reed looked at me unkindly, but couldn't find any flaws in my Cyan, and finally could only snort and cross her legs. She bossed me around and said, since you're Honey's secretary, go get baby a cup of tea now. I swallowed my anger and went to pour her tea. To avoid being nitpicked by her again, I specifically asked her what she wanted to drink before pouring it. But when I handed her the cup, her face changed and she screamed, knocking the cup out of my hand. I winced in pain from the heat, but Ashley Reed looked at me angrily in a high-pitched voice. That's not my honey/sweetheart special baby cup. Get me a new one. Special baby cup? What was that? Apart from the CEO's own cup, the rest of the cups in the CEO's office were all for guests. He was a germaphobe, so even if I had 10 times the guts, I wouldn't dare use his cup to pour water for this Miss Reed. Fortunately, I was dressed tightly today, but my wrists still throbbed faintly from the burn. Ashley Reed rolled her eyes at me. What are you pretending for? Baby didn't do it on purpose. It's your fault for not holding it properly. I endured it. I told myself 10,000 times in my heart that I had to endure this because she was the CEO's woman, but Ashley Reed was still pushing her luck. Hurry up and pour me another cup. Is baby going to die of thirst? Thinking that this month's allowance hadn't arrived yet, I gritted my teeth and endured it again, and went out to pour her water again. The colleagues in the admin office saw that the edges of my white shirt under my jacket were soaked and asked me in surprise what happened. I quickly complained to them about this Ashley Reed. The male colleague who told me to receive her looked at me with sympathy. I feel sorry for you. I knew she would be a weirdo at first glance, but I didn't expect her to be so weird. Another colleague also complained, our CEO is usually so calm and decisive, how could he like this kind of girlfriend? Speaking of which, I heard that the new girlfriend of the security officer Miller down stairs seems to be the same type as the CEO's girlfriend. They said that when they heard him on the phone, he kept calling himself baby. I was so scared that I thought I had returned to some non-mainstream era. The colleagues gossiped back and forth, but I quickly changed my jacket with a bitter face and went back in with the re-poured water. But this time I had thought of what to say. This is the special baby cup that the CEO prepared for you, he forgot to tell you. I sincerely put the pink cup that I finally found in the cupboard in front of her, and specifically added, it's very expensive, it cost the CEO $2,000. Actually, it was a gift that I got when I bought something and put it in the cabinet. Sure enough, Ashley Reed's expression immediately improved when she heard this, and her eyes lit up when she looked at the cup. No wonder he's honey, he never compromises even when buying me a cup. She took 2 sips and sighed with her eyes narrowed. Drinking with such a high-end cup makes the water taste sweeter. She glanced at me and said disdainfully, but someone like you probably can't even afford such high-end goods with a month's salary, right? I was a little silent. I really wanted to tell her that I could actually buy 20 of these cups with a month's salary, and the CEO even casually gave me a branded cup worth thousands of dollars some time ago. But my professional ethics made me shut up. I smiled and echoed her, yes, the CEO really loves you so much. Seeing that Ashley Reed kept complaining that the tea was too hot, I tried to be considerate again. Is the air conditioning too cold? Do you need me to turn it down a bit? As a result, Ashley Reed suddenly stood up from the sofa with her hands clenched on her sides, looked at me with a flushed face, and stomped her feet. I was stunned. What was this prelude? Who knew that the next second, she pinched her voice and said to me while stomping her feet, "EW. Did you notice that honey punish me with spanking last night?" I was completely stunned. Maybe my expression was too shocked. Ashley Reed glared at me. What's that expression? Don't you believe me? She held her face in her hands shyly and said, you don't know, last night just because I didn't want to wear shoes and stepped on the ground with bare feet, he picked me up and threw me on the bed and spanked me. I counted, he hit me 52 times. Honey is so romantic. He doesn't forget to express his love even when he's teaching me a lesson. I really couldn't imagine what it would be like to be spanked 52 times. I would automatically imagine the scene of being beaten with a board in ancient costume dramas. I couldn't think about it. It felt painful. I shivered. Ashley Reed was very dissatisfied with my unsupportive attitude. She stared at me with her eyes and said in a bad tone, "What do you mean? Don't you think what I said is romantic? If a man teaches me a lesson even when I step on the floor barefoot, doesn't that mean he loves me very much? You women really don't understand romance. I'm the only one who understands my honey's romance." Ashley Reed puffed up her cheeks angrily, but unfortunately the makeup on her cheeks was too dirty, and the visual effect was a bit scary. I quickly looked away and trembled with all my strength and said, "Why yes, you two are really a match made in heaven. CO, so your life after work is so anti-human. I'll never secretly call you crazy again, you really are mentally ill." Seeing that I was so sensible, Ashley Reed was finally satisfied. She said to me while drinking tea, "Since you're so good at talking, I'll say a few good words for you when my honey comes." I was immediately invigorated when I heard this, as if I saw a promotion and raise waving to me. I had the strength to be obsequious again. "Miss Reed, what else would you like to eat? I'll go prepare it for you." Custard cakes. I couldn't believe my ears. What? Ashley Reed gave me a disdainful look. Custard cakes, babies like us, of course we have to eat custard cakes made with milk powder. I collapsed and asked around the admin office for custard cakes. The colleagues in the admin office asked if I was crazy. Custard cakes? What am I, a cow? I explained to them with trembling hands that Headache specifically asked for it, saying she wanted custard cakes made with milk powder. The entire office was silent. The male colleague took a deep breath. Our CEO has a pretty unique taste. I was on the verge of tears. Stop complaining about the CEO. Please save me first. In the end, a colleague ran errands for me after I promised to treat her to milk tea for 3 days, and appeared in front of me with a bag of custard cakes in a limited 10 minutes. I carefully put it on a plate and brought it into this baby, waiting anxiously for her to find fault. As a result, Ashley Reed's eyes lit up when she saw the plate. Honey must have told you in advance, otherwise how would you have bought baby's favorite one all of a sudden? Huh? She continued, this one costs $7,000 per plate. You guys haven't eaten it before, have you? My colleague told me that this thing was $9.90 a big plate. I was a little silent, and said with a forced smile, as long as you like it. As soon as she finished speaking, Ashley Reed's face suddenly turned pale, and then she vomited all over me. My face also turned pale. Seeing me standing there holding the plate covered in mess, Ashley Reed actually glared at me. "Can't you see that I'm throwing up and help me clean it up?" My face twitched. "Help you clean up?" Ashley Reed didn't understand the question in my words, and touched her stomach happily. "I'm pregnant because Honey gave me baby shots. If anything happens to me, can you take responsibility?" I finally couldn't bear it anymore. "Baby shots my ass. I'm your mommy." I dumped the plate of custard cakes all over her head. She screamed "Ed" and jumped up to hit me. I quickly ran out the door and locked it, and called the CEO. "Mr. Thompson, are you really that hungry? How could you date a girlfriend like that?" But the CEO said in confusion on the other end of the phone, "What girlfriend? I'm still single." I sneered. "Stop pretending. Your girlfriend's showing up at the doorstep. Even if you deduct my salary and performance bonus today, I won't serve her." The CEO became anxious. "No, Sarah Johnson, what do you mean? You can't slander me, a good single young man. What do you mean my girlfriend showing up at the doorstep?" I didn't think he was pretending from his tone, and asked suspiciously, "Isn't Ashley Reed your girlfriend?" "What Ashley Reed? What are you talking about?" I suddenly realized that something was wrong. "It's just that not long after you left today, a woman named Ashley Reed who claimed to be your girlfriend came and is still in your office now." The CEO seemed to curse softly on the other end of the phone. "I don't know her. Hold her. I'll be back from the airport now." After speaking, he hung up the phone. The airport was about 10 minutes away from the office, so I could only quickly change my clothes and go back to the office. When I came back, I was shocked by the messy office. The vase that I had desperately protected this morning was not spared, and the plants in the office were smashed to pieces. Ashley Reed was sitting on the ground with red eyes in a bird-sitting posture, staring at me fiercely when she saw me come in. "Bitch!" The male colleague raised his hand to complain. The three of us couldn't stop her, and she kept saying that she had the CEO's baby son in her belly, so we weren't very dare to touch her. Ashley Reed immediately screamed when she heard this. "I have the future crown prince in my belly. How dare you employees touch me? Just wait, I'll have my honey fire you all when he comes back." The colleagues' faces were not very good looking when they threatened by her. The female colleague next to me took a deep breath and tugged at my sleeve. "Sarah Johnson, why don't we just forget it? She's the CEO's woman after all. She just said that you provoked her first, otherwise you can apologize to her." I signaled her to be calm. I asked Ashley Reed calmly, "You said you're our CEO's woman. Do you have any proof?" Ashley Reed pulled out a family heirloom bracelet from her pocket. "Of course I have proof. This is a marriage proposal gift that Honey gave me." My colleagues and I were stunned. There was no other reason, because it was really the CEO's family heirloom bracelet, which had been on the news and was worth tens of millions. How could this matter become so strange? The CEO told me that he didn't know this Ashley Reed, but this Ashley Reed could take out the CEO's family heirloom bracelet. My CPU was about to burn out. Seeing my stunned expression, Ashley Reed's arrogance immediately became rampant. "Weren't you questioning baby just now? I'm telling you, the first thing I'll do when Honey comes back is fire you. I'm also going to have him blacklist you in the entire industry." I thought she might have read too many novels. I didn't have any work mistakes and had a beautiful resume. I was a golden secretary in the industry, and several headhunters had come to poach me. If I resigned now, they would be very happy to accept me. The female colleague usually had a close relationship with me and knew that I wouldn't talk nonsense, and immediately asked me in a low voice, "What did you mean by that just now?" I sighed. "I called the CEO just now, and the CEO said that he didn't know this woman at all." The female colleague was shocked. He gave away his family heirlooms to a stranger without knowing her? She thought carefully. Could it be that they're just a couple arguing and don't want to admit it, and she's actually the CEO's woman? Does that mean that it was all flirting just now, and we were also part of their play? I became even more angry when I thought about this. If she was really the future CEO's woman, I had already offended her anyway, so I might as well just resign and leave with dignity. I stood up expressionlessly and took my employee card. I don't need you to fire me. I can leave on my own. I threw the employee card on the desk, and my colleagues became anxious and immediately came to pull me. Sarah Johnson, don't be impulsive. The CEO's woman is probably just talking. Sarah Johnson, how can I live without you? But I was determined to leave. Just as I was about to pry their hands away to write a resignation report, someone was standing at the door. I looked up and met the CEO's livid face. Who told you to leave? I stood up straight subconsciously. The colleagues immediately fell silent. CEO, you're back. The female colleague still wanted to struggle for me. CEO, listen to me. Sarah Johnson didn't do it on purpose. It was really that CEO's woman was too unreasonable. She was interrupted by Ashley Reed before she could finish her words. Ashley Reed, who had been ignored for a long time, walked out of the office by herself and immediately glared at us when she saw us surrounding the CEO. What do you mean? I'm your CEO's baby. Is this how you serve me? She was especially fierce when she spoke to me, especially you bitch. When your CEO comes back, baby will definitely make him teach you a lesson. The male colleague was stunned for a moment. Isn't the CEO already back? He's standing in front of you without saying a word. Ashley Reed subconsciously recovered her coquettish expression, and after looking around and finding that the person she was looking for was not there, she immediately became gloomy. How dare you lie to baby? The male colleague finally realized that something was wrong. You don't know the CEO? Then you still said you were the CEO's girlfriend? We were all still a little confused by this situation. The CEO was already looking coldly at Ashley Reed, who was in a mess, with a dark face. Is the security team downstairs being paid for nothing? Call them up here and drag this madwoman out. Seeing that the situation was not good, Ashley Reed immediately wanted to sit on the ground and act crazy again. Who are you? Why do you have the right to tell people to drag baby out? Seeing that the female colleague was actually calling the security team, she immediately screamed, "You're not allowed to call. It's really outrageous. How dare you bully me like this, a CEO's woman?" She started to act like a shrew, but no one paid attention to her no matter how she cried and made a fuss now. My colleagues and I told the CEO about what happened this morning in detail. The CEO's face became more and more ugly as he listened. I told you to listen to less office gossip. Who told you I have a girlfriend? He looked at me with disappointment, especially you. You work with me every day. Don't you know if I have time to fall in love? That seemed to be true. The CEO was a workaholic, so I was also very busy. I worked with him most of the time, and he really didn't have much time to fall in love. This made us even more confused. So who exactly is this Ashley Reed? Why is she injured? And why does she have your family heirloom bracelet? Just as we were talking, someone came to the corridor. The female colleague said happily, "The security officer Miller I called is here." The next second, the security officer Miller saw the woman acting like a shrew on the ground and his eyes went straight. Ashley Reed, why are you here? When Ashley Reed heard this familiar voice, she stopped acting like a shrew and immediately got up and saw Officer Miller's face clearly. The next second, she immediately threw herself into Officer Miller's arms. Honey, you're finally here. Do you know how hard baby has waited for you? They all bullied baby. She pounded his chest with her left hand in Officer Miller's arms, and didn't forget to point at us with her right hand and complain, "These people bullied baby, and this bitch made baby dirty." Her hand became stiffer and stiffer as she pointed, and he was already sweating profusely when she finally pointed at the CEO. The CEO said lightly, "Fire me?" Officer Miller, since when could a security officer Miller fire the company's president? Ashley Reed widened her eyes. Honey, what does he mean? Aren't you the president of the company? Why does he say you're a security officer Miller? I really couldn't stand it anymore. Can't you figure it out with that baby brain of yours even now? It means your honey lied to you. He's not the president at all. He's just a security guard in my office. This sentence was like a bolt from the blue. Ashley Reed's face turned pale. She turned her head to look at Officer Miller, who didn't dare to say a word and was already sweating profusely. Honey, what she said is all fake, right? How could you just be a security officer Miller? Officer Miller was even more stressed when she looked at him. The CEO smiled meaningfully. Really? I also heard that she has one of my family heirloom bracelet? Officer Miller couldn't hold it in anymore and knelt down directly. Mr. Thompson, I was just blinded by greed. It's my fault. I deserve to die. I shouldn't have pretended to be you to fall in love. The CEO said coldly. In other words, you stole my bracelet? Officer Miller denied tremblingly. I didn't. How dare I steal it? I just found someone to make a fake one behind my back. It's not worth much money. It only cost more than $100. Ashley Reed's face turned green when she heard this. She looked at the table she had carefully put in her pocket, which was said to be worth tens of millions, and broke down. She screamed and pushed Officer Miller. How dare you lie to me? You're just a security guard. How dare you lie to me? Officer Miller was already sweating profusely because he was scared by the CEO's indifferent attitude, and now he was even angrier when Ashley Reed provoked him. He slapped Ashley Reed hard. You bitch, didn't you see that I'm apologizing to Mr. Thompson? Do you have the right to speak? Ashley Reed was crushed by him. You were the one who lied to me first that you were the president. Otherwise, I wouldn't have liked you at all. You liar. Officer Miller's face turned red. So what? Weren't you having a good time when you were with me? You're just a gold-digging slut. What are you pretending for? All right. The CEO stopped the farce. He looked coldly at the two people who were tearing each other apart in front of him. I'm not interested in watching you tear each other apart. Go submit your resignation report consciously, and take your girlfriend away before you leave. Ashley Reed covered her face and wanted to leave in despair. Stop. I stopped her. Don't leave. You haven't settled the account for the vase you broke. Pay up. Ashley Reed looked at me fiercely. What are you so proud of? I'll pay. That vase was bought back from the auction house by our Mr. Thompson, worth $2,400,000. Do you have cash or credit card? Ashley Reed froze as soon as she heard this. She looked at me in disbelief. Are you crazy? A vase can cost $2,400,000? I didn't want to get entangled with her. You can ask Mr. Thompson for the purchase record, but you must pay for this vase. Ashley Reed saw that my calm face didn't look like I was joking, and tried to play rogue with me. Who said I broke the vase? You were also in the office at the time. Why wasn't it you who broke it? The CEO looked at her with a half-smile. My office has surveillance cameras. Do you need me to help you take a look? Ashley Reed didn't speak. She collapsed and sat on the ground, making a scene. My life is so hard. A cheap man cheated me of my feelings, and now I have to pay so much money. The female colleague continued to call other security guards to control the situation. Officer Miller spat at Ashley Reed when he left. You stinky woman, pay back the money yourself. You also made me lose my job. What a jinx. This probably reminded Ashley Reed that she had a child in her belly, and she immediately perked up and chased after Officer Miller. The two of them argued in the office for a long time. Finally, Ashley Reed threatened him that if he didn't help her pay part of the money, she would show up at the doorstep with her pregnant belly and ruin his future. I'm a dead pig not afraid of boiling water. Officer Miller had lied in the first place, so in the end, he could only bite the bullet and sell his house to pay Ashley Reed $1 million. Ashley Reed happily counted the money and gave it to the finance department. I'll raise the rest in a few days and give it to you. Officer Miller's eyes were unkind when he left, and he looked at Ashley Reed as if he wanted to kill her. After the matter was resolved, the CEO and I looked at each other. Mr. Thompson spoke first. Did she make things difficult for you? I nodded. He threw a bag of things into my arms. I opened it and saw that it was burn ointment, and it was the expensive imported kind. Take it and use it. This month's salary will be doubled as compensation for your mental distress. Damn! Mr. Thompson finally came to his senses. He's finally acting like a human being. As soon as I heard that my salary would be doubled, my back didn't hurt and my legs didn't hurt anymore. The chaos of the day didn't matter. I immediately nodded and bowed and said, "Okay. Thank you, sir." Mr. Thompson couldn't help laughing at my cheap look. "Okay, go home early and rest today." He paused. "Forget it. I'll give you 3 days off. Come back after you've rested." Of course, I agreed immediately. After all, you should fleece the capitalist whenever you get a chance. Who knows if he'll go back on his word later. Just as I was humming a little tune and preparing to enjoy my 3-day vacation, Mr. Thompson suddenly stopped me. "Sarah Johnson." He looked at my blank face, and after hesitating for a while, he couldn't help but ask, "Didn't you have any doubts when this woman said she was my girlfriend today?" Ed, what am I doubting? If she says she is, then she is. Mr. Thompson seemed angry. "Didn't you ever think that I don't like this type at all?" I continued to look blank. "How would I know what type you like? I'm not a worm in your stomach." There was a moment of silence. I felt like I heard Mr. Thompson grinding his teeth. He turned into an ice block again. "I shouldn't have asked you. Get out of here, or I won't double your salary." I ran away immediately. As I ran, I thought that men are really fickle, like they're having their period. But I didn't get to enjoy my vacation comfortably. On the second night of my vacation, I was about to lie on the bed comfortably, eating a fruit platter and watching a drama on my tablet, when I received a series of calls from the CEO. I wanted to pretend I didn't hear it, but it rang 3 times. There seemed to be a noisy female voice in the background of the phone, and Mr. Thompson's tone was as cold as ice. "If you're not asleep, come to my house. Help me deal with something. I'll pay you overtime." That's why I say he understands me. I wanted to refuse, but when I heard the last sentence, my feet had already taken a step before my brain could react. Okay. I rushed to Mr. Thompson's mansion. As a result, as soon as I entered the gate of his mansion, I saw an unexpected person. Ashley Reed was sitting on the ground, dressed in a very ambiguous way. When she saw me, she became furious. "Bitch, you dare to show up in front of me?" After she finished speaking, she wanted to rush up and hit me, but the CEO's bodyguards held her down. I saw the CEO sitting on the sofa next to him, disheveled, with a face as black as the bottom of a pot. "Mr. Thompson, what's going on that you called me here in the middle of the night?" The veins on Mr. Thompson's forehead twitched. "This woman sneaked into my house. She took off her clothes and lay on my bed. When I opened the door..." He didn't say the rest of the words, but I already understood how explosive it would be for a CEO with severe mysophobia to open the door in the middle of the night and find a naked woman lying on his bed, especially since he seemed to hate her even more, based on what happened that day. I understood. She snuck in to seduce you? Ashley Reed on the ground started to feel wronged. That's not seduction. He obviously has feelings for me too. He even remembered who I was when he saw me. I was a little embarrassed. It's hard not to remember your performance that day. Even though I haven't been to the office for the past 2 days, the entire office has already started gossiping about it. Our admin office, as the first eyewitness, has naturally been asked by many people. Now Ashley Reed is also famous in our office. All the employees in the office know that this woman was tricked into getting pregnant by the security officer Miller and thought she was the CEO's wife. After she showed up at the office and made a scene, she was exposed by the CEO on the spot and had to pay the CEO more than $2 million for the vase. The atmosphere around the CEO has been very low these past 2 days. Even people with the surname Lee in the office have to behave carefully, for fear that the CEO will think of the person when he sees the surname and affect them. Ashley Reed sneered, "So what? Anyway, your CEO is already tainted." I was startled by this. I thought I was really late. Could it be that my misophobic CEO was really ruined by her? As a result, the CEO's face turned even darker. "Don't fucking talk nonsense here. If you spread another rumor, I'll have your mouth stuffed." Damn, he's starting to swear. It seems like he's really angry. Ashley Reed stubbornly said, "What? Am I wrong? You lay on the same bed with me. Isn't that tainted?" I couldn't understand. "Girl, instead of thinking about how to raise money to pay for the CEO's vase these past few days, you're actually thinking about sneaking into the mansion to get into the CEO's bed. Your thinking is really strange." Ashley Reed sneered. "I climbed into bed to pay back the money. I'm so beautiful. What if he takes a fancy to me? Which man can resist a beautiful woman like me taking off her clothes and standing in front of him? I don't believe he won't be moved. When he falls in love with me, he won't make me pay back the money anymore." I could only say that I was amazed as I watched Ashley Reed raise her chin and talk proudly about her amazing ideas. Her top priority now should be to uninstall the novel app on her phone. Otherwise, how could a normal person think of using her body to seduce the creditor so that the creditor would forget the hatred and stop chasing the debt? Isn't this what happens when you read too many novels? Ashley Reed panicked when she saw the CEO not saying a word. "What's wrong? Am I wrong? You've already seen me. You have to take responsibility for me." The CEO looked like he wanted to gouge his eyes out. "Just tell me what to do about this now." No wonder he urgently summoned me here. It turned out that he had run into her. I also looked at Ashley Reed. "I'm asking you, what to do now?" Ashley Reed thought there was hope when she heard me ask this, and her eyes immediately lit up. She sat up straight and said, "What to do? Of course, he has to marry me. I heard that you rich people are in poor health. I happen to have a child in my belly now, and I can help your family continue the family line. You can't mistreat him if I have other children with you in the future. This is my precious son that I worked so hard to conceive. I think your mansion is not bad. Give it to me when we get married. There's a big garden outside for me to walk. And take care of my baby." Ashley Reed talked on, and the CEO and I became more and more speechless. I asked her what to do because I was asking her how she planned to solve this matter, not to let her daydream. "Girl, your logic is that you not only want to marry my CEO with your ex-boyfriend's child, let him raise your ex-boyfriend's son and waive the debt, but you also have your eyes on his mansion?" Ashley Reed nodded confidently. "I directly called the police and reported Ashley Reed for trespassing." Ashley Reed looked incredulous when she was dragged away. "You dare to reject me? How is this possible? You will regret missing me." I don't know if the CEO will regret it, but she will definitely regret her life in the future. Not only does she have to go to jail now, but she also has to pay back the money she owes the CEO. Officer Miller didn't know how he found out about this. When he learned that she actually wanted to marry someone else while pregnant with his child, he was so angry that he beat Ashley Reed, who had been in jail for more than 10 days, until she had a miscarriage. After that, the two of them fought to the death and entangled with each other, and the follow-up was so exciting that people could eat melon seeds for a year. The CEO actually asked me a few questions that night when Ashley Reed was taken away. "Sarah Johnson," he stopped me again as I was about to leave the mansion and go home. "Aren't you curious about what type of person I like?" He clenched his fists, and his ears were slightly red. I remembered that this was how he taught me to recognize the signs of tension when I first joined the office. I waved my hand casually, not interested. Just kidding. Which is better, being a high-paid worker with a clear employment relationship or being a free worker with a title? I know the difference very well.